Testing.
Good evening. Today is Monday, November 18th, 2024. We are at the Green Ladle. We'll call the meeting to order at 5:30 p.m. and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. We will begin school committee member introductions with Councillor Harriman.
Scott Harriman, City Council Representative to the School Committee.
Donna Gallant, Ward 7.
Megan Hurd, Ward 6.
Ashley Medina, Ward 5.
Craig Charpentier, Ward 4.
Elizabeth Eames, Ward 3.
Megan Parks at large.
Karen Paquette, Assistant Superintendent.
Our Ward 1 and 2 reps are excused absent this evening. Agenda item number 3 is the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that members would like set aside? Seeing none, the consent agenda is adopted. Agenda item number 4 is public input. Members of the public may address the school committee for up to 3 minutes on non-agenda items now and on agenda items later. Comments that pertain to staff, personnel matters, or a student issue should be directed to the superintendent or the appropriate staff member of Lewiston Public Schools. Public comments shall be directed to the school committee and be brief, not repetitive, and related to the matter at hand. Before starting, please state your name, address, and affiliation to Lewiston Public Schools. Are there any members of the public that would like to speak?
You're good.
Hello, good evening, school board members. My name is Stephanie Poulin. I live in Auburn, but I work at Montello Elementary School. I am the gen ed social worker at the school, and I've been there for over a decade. I'm here today with some of my colleagues to discuss with you some of the concerns and issues that we have in our current building. I'd like to talk about safety. School safety is defined by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization as the process of establishing and maintaining a school that is physically, cognitively, and an emotionally safe space for students and staff to carry out learning environments for all. Students who feel unsafe at school experience more symptoms of depression, anxiety, PTSD, trauma, attend school less, have a difficult time learning, and are more likely to engage in risky behaviors. We are experiencing all of this with our student population. Our staff is experiencing increased stress, secondary trauma due to increased violence and chaos in our building. This may be in the form of threats from students being physically assaulted or verbally threatened to leaving classrooms without permission, and bullying is on the rise. Stress and lack of safety are more acute problems in high-poverty schools, such as Montello. It is imperative that we improve the working conditions of our school. Let's consider looking at data and research. More than 70% of teachers across the country want class sizes reduced. Educators believe the most important factor in creating a safer school environment is by reducing class size. It is even more necessary to reduce class sizes in a trauma-impacted school such as ours. Imagine being a teacher who must manage a class of 22 students, and the makeup might look something like this. 7 students have multilingual services, 3 are newcomers, 3 have specialized individual special education programs, and students that may come through our MTSS program, so that teacher may have 3 that have individualized behavior plans. This means over half the class has specific individual needs. This is not uncommon at our school. This is neither fair or equitable, and I would argue impossible to manage. This comes at a cost for all. Record numbers of staff have either left before the start of the school year or have resigned a few months into our school year. I worry if this continues to happen, Montello will not be able to remain open. We are passionate educators who want to make a positive impact for our students and families. We deserve so much more. to simply survive, and that is what we are doing. We want our students and families to thrive. We want to be seen, listened to, and we want real and meaningful action. We are the frontline staff. Our voices, concerns, thoughts, and ideas matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Teacher Jay Zimmerman. I live in Ward 5 and I teach 4th grade general education at Montello Elementary. I love Montello. I cherish my students and the time I get to spend with them. And I respect my colleagues who are among some of the most driven, dedicated, professional, and courageous people I have had the honor to know. And we have to be. Because the odds and obstacles facing us every day would seem insurmountable to lesser people. I have 22 students in a room made for 16. If 4 to 6 of my students are out during a day, I can teach. But otherwise, I manage behaviors, morning through afternoon, every day. These behaviors are grounded in trauma. The traumas of poverty, migration, war, torn families, domestic violence, the opioid epidemic, homelessness. My students come to school with this as their context, and I'm expected to teach them fractions and how to be a good reader. I give them what they need, all 22 of them, and it's exhausting. I have 22 students, and I feel lucky because last year I got my 25th student a month before school ended. How do we get these students with this level of need? The latest zoning map I could see for the school allocation here in Lewiston is from 2009, so forgive me if there's a more updated model that I haven't seen. But the way it looks to me is that Montello has a small area around our school that we draw from, and then we get the tree streets, and we get scraps from here and scraps from there. When people move into Lewiston because they are refugees or immigrants, or they are poor, or they are homeless, and they have nothing else to do and nowhere to go, they move to the tree streets because they can afford it. So we have a very high level of need and a very high level of trauma coming into our school. The distribution of students across our district is inequitable, and I think the school committee needs to take another look at how we zone our schools. I would also invite you to come spend some time in our school. I know you're on this committee because you have the best interests of our schools, our students, and our educators at heart. But it must be very hard to make good decisions on our behalf if you don't know what we're going through. Please come see us. We give everything every day. Give us something back.
Thank you.
Can you push the thing again?
You're good.
Okay. Oh, hi. Pardon me, sometimes I get really red. It looks like I'm gonna have a heart attack, but I'm fine. Okay. I had something that I had written last week.
I'm sorry, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, Patty Williamson. I live in Oxford. I work at Montello. I had something else, but today was like a lot. We have 2 new students, one's from Syria and one, I don't know where he's from, in a class that doesn't have a teacher. That's had subs since like Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. Okay, so, and one of those kids is like, I'm like, have you done any math? And she's like, no, I haven't done any math for forever. Because subs are going in there and passing out papers. And then I was told that another student is coming in into 5th grade. He's from Syria. He's deaf and he has seizures. So he requires one-on-one care. We don't have the staff for that. We have another student who, for about a year, like the end of 3rd grade, 4th grade, and now the beginning of 5th grade, has had plan after plan after plan. like sometimes every 60 seconds. He's not in the right placement. These students are not in the right placements. And they show this by eloping in the hallways, hiding. And it's dangerous. Like I had some kids, like they climb on the railings, they mess around in the stairwells. There was a girl standing on the sill in the bathroom. These are not safe behaviors. We don't have the correct placement for these kids, and they're not getting an education. Therefore, the people that they're right next to aren't getting an education either because they're involved in all this back and forth and disrespectful behavior. This year's better than last year. Last year I had about 20 students on my caseload. 6 had active behavior plans where we documented every day and then input it into our computers at the night. Active behavior plans. And I probably could have had 4 more. It's wrong. It's overcrowded. It's violent. It's dangerous. It's unsafe. And I was so excited to come to Montello and I loved it my first year, but things are getting like hard to defend, I would say. We don't have a regular, there's too much to say. Anyway, I just feel like we have a lot of students who have a lot of needs and need better placements than the general education classrooms at Montello. We have too many children with too many needs. They're great one-on-one. That's it.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Right. Hi. I'm Krista St. Cyr. I am a multilingual instructional coach at the middle school. And I will be reading for an educator at Montello who would like to remain anonymous. It is high time for Montello employees to be given an opportunity to openly discuss the many, many pressing issues we have been facing as a school for such a long time now. Issues that this year are already increasing at a dangerous rate. We as staff struggle immensely day in and day out. We hear horrible things about our school, our students, and ourselves as teachers. Please allow us this time to be heard. As a classroom teacher, I can confirm that the current class sizes at Montello are far too large to be manageable or equitable. I regularly get new students for whom we cannot even procure desks and chairs as we do not have enough, especially in our trauma-informed school setting. With a record number of newcomers, it is impossible to give each child the consideration and support they need. Even the most skilled and experienced educators are finding this climate to be overwhelming and unsafe. For staff who willingly choose to work in this school and face these challenges so as to support the children, one would think our safety and stability would be taken into account. Many of us are working tirelessly, encountering daily situations with fidelity, yet it seems our efforts are not translating into success for our students. It is disheartening to see teachers with this many students and these many challenges expected without any additional resources or supports to produce the same results as teachers in other schools only a mile or 2 away with class sizes of 15 to 20 and far fewer multilingual students. This situation is a disservice to our students as it is adversely affecting the mental health of our staff, as evidenced by the abundance of Montello teachers that have quit the district already this year. This is a huge systematic problem that requires your attention. We do not deserve to be exposed to these dangerous situations without consideration for ourselves or our students. We want immediate, meaningful action taken. All too often, frontline staff are not given an opportunity to give input. Please consider this input. We matter.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Bankston. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Montello, and I am in Pittsburgh. I'd like to thank you for hiring me in August. I thought that I was coming to Montello to make such a big difference with this population. I found myself caught in a violence act with two students that were fighting, and when I intervened, I got assaulted. I appreciated meeting with the principal to discuss the dangerous behavior and all of the new PD around trauma, safety, and de-escalation for teachers. However, I do not see the support in place for the students and addressing the root cause of the systemic violence at Montello. According to the resource officer, there are thousands of fights at LPS, and that is a problem for the district that I feel needs to be urgently addressed for the safety of the teachers and students alike. More support and programs are needed to address the students' violent behavior. In previous positions in other districts, the DA would come to the school and give a presentation on bullying and consequences for violence. The resource officer knew about the violence. The resource officers at those districts also knew about the violence behavior and tracked it on a spreadsheet. Principals filled out quick Google Forms and it went right to the spreadsheet for the resource officer to monitor the violence. Teachers also had walkie-talkies that had a direct line to the secretary for emergencies, such as violent behavior. On several occasions, I have needed help and gotten the answering machine when called the office. That is unacceptable and is part of the reason I do not feel safe. I strongly urge the district to start a safety campaign among the student population. Programs such as SAVE, Promise Club, Stop School Violence Grants, COP School Violence Prevention Program, and Second Steps are needed to address more social emotional issues so teachers can focus on teaching and not spend time constantly monitoring violent behaviors. Although Montello has some good programs and dedicated staff who educate the whole student, there is need for more student support programs. Violence is not okay, and it is a daily problem at Montello. There are too many fights in the halls, on the buses, in the bathrooms, and at recess. It is not getting the urgent attention it deserves. Staff and students do not feel safe. And I would beg you to please consider prioritizing safety at Montello and in the public schools at Lewiston as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ron Potvin, 291 Pond Road. A couple items. First one, as Chief Operating Officer of the store next door, I wanted the opportunity to just brief you on our activities of the previous year. Since tonight, you're going to be talking about the Student Resource Center, and I know she's going to be talking about this fiscal year. I wanted to talk about our successes of the previous fiscal year, and so that you understand the impact that the store next door has in regards to that resource center. So last year, from last July 1st to the up and coming July that just happened for 24, we were able to deliver $22,345 of direct student support to the students. In addition to that, we were able to deliver $6,528 in event support for the students in term addressing back to school, summer outreach, holidays, 2 graduations, and a prom. So generally, we, as in the previous years, we always hover right around the $30,000 mark in terms of how much we're able to provide to help the students. So moving forward, with Natasha now, we're looking at more of a robust accountability piece, so that we have more exact knowledge of where everything's going, and hoping to expand our opportunities with whatever else we can help to bring the kids along that much further. The second part I wasn't going to address, but since everything's happening here tonight, when I sat on the school committee 4 years ago, we took up Montello School and we had a survey done. Back then, 4 years ago, we knew it was 2-to-1 minority, disproportionate to the rest of the city. We knew 4 years ago it was 2-to-1 poverty in proportion to the rest of the city. We knew it was 2-to-1 ELL. We knew it was 2-to-1 special ed. Apparently, nothing has happened since we did that report. This was done at the end of the term, so we didn't have the time to be able to formulate anything. But the initial discussions focused that we need to take a broader look at the other schools and see what are we doing disproportionately? Because if that report is still out there from 4 years ago, it's pretty glaring. And I think it's very unfortunate when minority families have to be bused significantly further than where they should be as opposed to a local school. So I'm hoping the opportunity is there to take it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Erica Gunderson. I'm a certified multilingual educator at Montello. Prior to doing this is my second year working with multilingual students, and I have found my home. Before that, I was a gen ed teacher, K-1-2 for 18 years. So I have a background. I have, some knowledge to what teachers are coming and talking to me about. I am one of our building union reps, and I've been working really closely with our union president and trying to support our many teachers. I'm not sure if you truly understand the climate, and I've had some wonderful people ahead of me kind of give you a little snippet, but I do really, truly want to invite you all into our building. Formally, this is your invite. We would love to see you. We, the certified professional educators, have been meeting with the union since before school started. We knew some of our problems at the end of last school year. I have talked with her, and we were told that we would be seeing other district personnel, administrators in particular, in our building, and we have not. The right to a quality education, it has to start with safety. I love what I do. I show up every day because our children are amazing. We have staff there that is amazing. We are giving everything to our students, to our fellow coworkers. And it's really hard to keep ourselves going. I really love Montello, and there's amazing people trying their hardest to do amazing things. But we've had our amazing Natasha. We lost her. She helped with over 100 McKinney-Vento students, our multilingual population, everyone. Okay, we've lost many of our social workers, our clinicians, and they've just gone to other schools within the district because it's really hard what we're doing. We're down to one gen ed clinician. So not only do we have the extreme traumas, but we've lost all our help. Our students have lost all their help. It's really hard, and people, our admin, our teachers, our students are trying their best. But please come. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak? No. Seeing none, thank you all for coming to speak today. We appreciate it. Agenda item number 5 is to receive Lewiston Public Schools recognitions.
I'm going to ask Jenny Derrigan to come to the podium. Jenny has asked that we recognize some folks as it relates to a literacy grant and some implementation of literacy curriculum at the 7-12 level. And I know we have a variety of those folks here. Jenny, did you want to share anything, or did you want me to just read your email?
I'm happy to give an overview of what I shared with you. We have recently completed a literacy curriculum implementation for grades 7 through 12 here in the district. This very big project was supported by an amazing group of folks. And many of whom are here today, I believe. Our project lead is home sick today, unfortunately, but Georgia Valley had led a group not only to prepare for, plan for, decision make over the last few years, but the grant funds were specific to springtime through the end of September. So we had a major crunch period to get a bulk of the work done, and certainly a bulk of the PD through the summer months, and all of the ordering of the curriculum had to happen. So many people were involved in this work, and we're certainly here to acknowledge that and recognize them this evening.
So I'm going to call up the folks that we're recognizing around this work, and we have some certificates for you, and we'll take a picture for those who are able to join us. Let's see, we have Caitlin, who's the literacy coach at Lewiston High School. Patty McKinnon, who's the ML coach, multilingual coach at Lewiston High School. Oh, I didn't see you, Patty. I'm glad you're here. Esther Pelletier, who is the English content. You can just stand right there. Esther, I'm usually the one getting up and telling you where to go, and Jake's usually the one doing all this. So Esther Pelletier, who is the English content leader, and I believe she had conferences this evening, so she wasn't able to join us, but she's here in spirit. Bree Allard is the literacy coach at Lewiston Middle School. Krista St. Cyr is the multilingual coach at Lewiston Middle School. Elizabeth Arlen is a literacy teacher at Lewiston Middle School, and Courtney Coet is a multilingual teacher at Lewiston Middle School as well. This was the core group, but we do have some others who definitely put in a lot of work to help us out and get this up and going. Marissa Deku, who's the LHS librarian, she helped select and support the ordering for resources. Amanda Guy, who is an English teacher at Lewiston High School, she worked throughout the summer helping with some rubrics. Russell Warren is a multilingual teacher at Lewiston Middle School, and he helped to review some of the curriculums to make a decision. Dina Doyon is the Lewiston Middle School librarian. She also helped with ordering and selecting materials. And then last but not least is Carlene Foisey, who is the Office of Teaching and Learning Administrative Assistant. She did all the placing of orders. She did all the tracking. Had Georgia in her office all the time saying, where's this package? Where's this package? And Jenny mentioned that Georgia Valley is home sick this evening, but she learned a whole lot about grants. But she also spent a lot of time with this group. They traveled to many conferences to learn a lot in a short amount of time. And it's unfortunate she's not here, but I want to recognize her as well.
Thank you all for your work.
So our next recognition is where we'd like to recognize Rob Callahan. I think he's here. I think I saw him. Rob, do you mind standing up? We have Rob here tonight to recognize him for being named the CTE Director of the Year. And that was an award that was given to him at the October workshop day, correct, Rob? That was the October day. And LRTC hosts all the other CTE schools in the state here in Lewiston, and they do an award ceremony and have workshops. And Rob usually organizes it all, but they pulled one over on him and recognized him as the CTE Director of the Year. So congratulations, Rob, well deserved.
Congratulations.
And last but not least, I'm going to ask Charlotte Nile oh my gosh, Charlotte Johnson to come to, that was a Freudian slip, to come to the podium. And she would like to share some information about a very special physical education teacher from McMahon.
And while Karen's sharing the screen, I'm going to ask Bethany Fox, Coach Fox, up to the podium so you can see her as we talk about her and celebrate her great accomplishments. It should be good. Yeah. No? Is it working? Okay. So I made a slide to show you what we're here to celebrate Bethany for. So she was recently named the Maine Association of Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance Elementary PE Teacher of the Year. And I put together a little collage to show some reasons why she earned this title. The first picture we have Tiger Fit. So Bethany has been working for us for 2 years now. And so each week she sends out healthy tips to our staff, how to take care of their physical and mental well-being. This year, she just started a pickleball club. So we have quite a few staff members who get together every other week and use the pickleball courts down from our school. Then you see the picture of Coach Fox earning her award. If we keep going, she has a very active social media to follow her content for families. And she just shows that's always updated. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing all the awesome things that are happening constantly in our gym, follow her. And then just some recent updates for Halloween, October, she decorated the whole gym as the spooky gym. You can see the lights up in that top left-hand corner, right-hand corner. And kids were really excited to come, and she played spooky Halloween music, and it was dark, and kids really enjoyed that. Upcoming, she has Scooter City. So she's turned the gym into like a little scooter course for students to earn their driver's license. So she's constantly updating the gym. It's not just your typical gym. She spends a lot of time and energy setting up that gym to make it fun and engaging. She recently took our fifth graders to St. Joe's, right? For Are You Fitter Than a Fifth Grader? So this is the second year in a row that our fifth graders have been able to go on that field trip. Last year it was her first year. She organized field day, whole school field day, all by herself. She got us t-shirts and got inflatables and had community volunteers, and it was a really big hit. I think this year's theme is going to be Disney. So stay tuned for that exciting adventure come the spring. But we are really lucky to have Bethany as our phys ed teacher at McMahon, and we're so proud of her accomplishment.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Agenda item number 6 is to receive an update on the Student Resource Center, and Natasha will present.
You're showing them all the good stuff. Now you got to start from the beginning. No. Slide. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Natasha Turka. I am the District Student Engagement Coordinator at Lewiston Public Schools. So I am going to share some updates about the Student Resource Center. So our Resource Center serves as a central hub for families to access essential resources, information, support services that help them contribute to their active involvement in their child's education. So the mission of our Student Resource Center is to remove obstacles to academic success and provide each student in Lewiston with the resources and support necessary to thrive in school. So I work closely with these two. I am the direct supervisor. These two staff members are the Student Resource Center support staff and the Student Resource Center coordinator. So we have one position that is paid with our local funding, and then the other position is paid with our McKinney-Vento grant funds. These staff members work very hard from 7:30 to 4, going through all the donations that we are receiving, meeting with families and students, helping them with clothing, shoes, food, resources, applications for housing. So the store next door, as what you guys know, is housed within our Student Resource Center. We have done a lot of moving and cleaning and organizing and have implemented a lot of different systems. And so if you guys were welcoming you to come visit, we have one big room out back where the store next door is housed. Families can come and shop at the store next door. Students come get items for clothing, hygiene stuff, shoes is in there. So the store next door is open throughout the day. We have full access to it. So our staff members can access that anytime when we need to. And students do drop by at the Student Resource Center from 2 to 4. They can come meet with our staff, fill out applications, fill out request forms for any student needs, and schedule an appointment if they need to come back for anything else. So each school in Lewiston has a McKinney-Vento point of contact, and that staff member is directly working with our McKinney-Vento students, sorry. That staff member does have another full-time job, so this is an additional work for them. They support all of our students that are experiencing homelessness, and they have a closet in their offices, most of them. And so these closets are stocked with different essential items that kids might need to, be successful in school. Could be clothing, shoes, hygiene products, a backpack, school supplies. So if they do not have what they need in that closet, they can also fill out a Google form, which goes directly to our Student Resource Center staff and myself. We then will go through our closets down there or the store next door, fulfill those needs and deliver them to the schools. Our top priority is keeping the kids in class throughout the day. They do have that opportunity to visit the Student Resource Center from 2 to 4, but we want to make sure the students are at school in class learning but also have what they need. Click it again. So what has been happening? So we have implemented multiple different ways to collect data. And so what that looks like is right now we've had over 184 students and families walk through that door, visit our Student Resource Center, either meet with our staff to fill out, a request for some items, shop at the store next door, utilize our laundry, showers facilities, grab a food bag, get a new pair of shoes, clothing. And additional, we've had our point of contact submit over 72 referral forms for the students that are in class that cannot get there. We also have our Next Step program upstairs that has a lot easier access to walk down the stairwell to fulfill those student needs as well for Next Step. Our staff has worked hard designating a welcome area in the front of in the resource center. Families can come meet with staff. We'll have them connect with them, fill out applications. We have drinks to offer them, snacks. This is also a space where families can wait while they're doing their laundry. So at Lewiston Public Schools, we have a partnership with a nonprofit called Souls for Souls. This year, we've received 500 pairs of shoes from this nonprofit. Those are housed at our Student Resource Center. These shoes are given out to our McKinney-Vento students and our at-risk youth. Our point of contacts will fill out request forms for shoes for students, and those will get filled and sent and delivered to the schools for the students. So in the top left corner was a student that came to me this year saying that his shoes needed some help. So he left with his bottom pair of brand new shoes. And that's the thing, all these shoes are brand new. They're very nice, good quality shoes. And the kids are very excited about them when they get them. Another student you'll see in this clip was very excited about his shoes because he could play soccer at recess, participate in gym, and also he liked to dance. So I'll play this. Oh, there's no audio. So we keep track of all the shoes that we distribute out and all the students that receive the shoes, and we do impact stories that we share out with Souls for Souls. We're going to be getting another 500 pairs in early spring of 2025, and those are all housed at the Student Resource Center, organized, labeled with sizes, makes it very easy for us to access and distribute out to students. There was a little audio clip with that, but it's okay. Hopefully the audio will work with this one. So I want to bring you on a virtual tour to see what it's like visiting our Student Resource Center. We have a designated space for laundry. Oh, I'll let it play.
Oh. We turned off that share sound.
Sorry. So I'll share. We have a designated space for laundry, showers, food bags, clean clothing, shoes, hygiene products, backpacks, school supplies, and much more.
If we play the video when we're not speaking in the mic, by chance?
Yeah. We do have a lot of things that we are. Oh. Good. We have a lot of things in the works right now that we're working on right now is like a lending library. We're going to be putting out one that's full of resources with a guide. So for after hours when we're not available, if families come to visit, they'll have different packets of different information for food, shelters, clothing items for families. We also are working on getting a donation bin. This will be sitting outside of the Student Resource Center and welcoming gently used clothing. You know, if it doesn't smell like Downy, we don't want it walking into the door. These items can be placed in there from the community and went through and hung up in our Student Resource Center in our store next door. Spurwink, we are working closely in building our partnership with our SHIFA case management and our other case management services to connect families to case management services. A lot of our families come to us with a lot bigger needs than we can fulfill our 2 staff in one day. So we do have that resource to connect them with those case managers. Job Corps, we are working closely with that resource counselor here in Lewiston to try to connect some of our students that want to take a different path in school and career options. And they also offer driver's licenses. So that's a new connection. Bates College will be volunteering here soon, helping with food bags, clothing, tutoring, and just being a mentor for our students. And we are fully equipped now with refrigerators, freezers for accepting Good Shepherd Food Bank deliveries. We also have a locked space for dry goods. So we'll be hopefully partnering with them as soon. And we also have a workstation that is going to be going up with some laptops, printers for families and students to come in, print off housing applications, job applications. If they need to apply for like the Boys and Girls Club or Tree Street, they'll be able to go in there and utilize those service spaces as well. Thank you.
Member Gallant.
Thank you very much. Question, do the schools have the opportunity to give weekend backpacks to kids?
So a lot of the schools have their own food pantries. So I ran the Montello food pantry for 3 years, and we did 2 different deliveries each month, and we sent home food with families, and we also did deliveries. A lot of schools in Lewiston, I don't know exactly every single one of them, but we all have our own food pantries that we receive donations and also Good Shepherd Food Bank delivers to. And each school has a different system. Our McKinney-Vento funds, or that grant does support with the teacher delivering the food bags to families after school. So a lot of our schools, instead of sending it home, it's really heavy. They get lost in the bus, cans roll around.
Okay.
A lot of times we do a lot of deliveries. The middle school sends it home with the students, and some families go and pick it up. A lot of the elementary schools do deliveries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Member Hurd.
Thank you. So I'm glad you're here. So I get the pleasure of talking to Natasha almost every day at pickup, so I know what has been going on with the Student Resource Center. And I kept asking you, are you ready to present? Are you ready to present? We're ready to hear what you have to say. So I'm glad the rest of the committee gets to hear all the good work that you and your team are doing over there, because I think it's amazing. And I feel like you're truly revitalizing that building. I had something and then I forgot. Crap. Come back to me.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Back to you.
We are welcoming, if anybody wants to come tour, if you guys want to reach out directly to me, we can set up a good time and day that works for you. So if you guys are interested in that, we are putting that up there for.
Thank you.
So you have hours from 8 or 7.
So our 2 staff are there from 7:30 to 4.
Okay.
Between 7:30 and 2, they're really working with any new families that are coming in from registration. Our multilingual office does bring down a lot of our new families. And they're also filling orders, restocking shelves, packing up bags for students that are, all the requests that we receive from the point of contacts. And then from 2 to 4 is that drop-in time where a lot of students will pop in to shop at the store next door, get a snack, a drink sometimes, just come say hi, and or fulfill, requests of their needs.
Okay. And is there any sort of, I don't want to say like drop off, but like if students let's say students can't come until later in the day or something, or they have a request or something, do you have like a little Dropbox or something where you take after hour, I'm just thinking of like after hours that you guys aren't there. Is there a way for people to get in contact with you?
A lot
after
of
those
times the
times?
students will find the point people at each school and tell them their needs. And so I know that's been working, but we can look into doing something for after hours or having a number, an email to call or something for a request.
I'm not
That'd be
saying
great.
you need to. I'm just asking like if there was like a need or something
Yeah.
after hours.
And that's something we could put in. So we're going to be getting some packets together for our community resources to put in our little box, our lending library box. So that could be something if, they have something for after hours, they can send a request to a phone number or email.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 7 is to review and potentially vote on the first read of the following policies, A through C.
So I'll just note that you'll see for this first read, there's the first two, A and B are around instructional and library selection and materials. And then you'll see on a future agenda item here, there's some deletion of, there's a request for deletion of some policies that sort of mirror that or go along with those. And we have much of what's in those policies is shown or is going to be in these two that are here for the first read. And we're going to continue to look at those items that if you approve to delete, if there are additional items or pieces that need to go into A or B. So I'm asking for the first read tonight, and then if there's anything that does change before we come back for a second read, I'll definitely make sure you're aware of that.
Megan heard, member heard, either way. Go ahead, sorry.
Something heard. I'd like to make a motion to approve the first reading of the following policies listed A through C.
Thank you. Member Glant,
I'll second that.
any further discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. Agenda item number 8 is to review and potentially vote on the second read of the policies listed as A and B.
These are policies you saw at one of our last meetings for the first read, and there has not been any change since that meeting.
Member Hurd,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the second read of policies listed A through B.
would anyone like to second that?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor? That is also unanimous. Agenda item number 9, to review and potentially vote on the deletion of the following policies A through D. Okay, that's already been reviewed. Member Hurd,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the deletion of following policies listed A through D.
seconded by Member Glant.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Also unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item number 10 is.
I can't second the things that are my committee. That's
Oh.
why I don't jump in.
Are you abstaining? Is that what you're telling me? Oh.
I'm explaining why I'm not jumping in to be seconding.
Aye, got it. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Agenda item number 10 is report from the school committee chair. I don't have, it's been so long since we last met. I'm sure something has happened, but I don't know. I don't have anything to update. Agenda item number 11 will be report from the assistant superintendent.
There's been a lot going on in Lewiston Public Schools in the last week, as I've been doing the superintendent and the assistant superintendent job. I'll just say that administrators and teachers have really been faced with some challenges, and students as well. I'll echo the sentiment of many of that you heard during public comment around safety and violence and physical altercations. We've had a few in the last few weeks, and I just want to assure the public and the school committee that Jake has been in contact with administrators. I've been in contact with administrators, and there'll be more discussion around those topics when he returns.
Thank you. Member Hurd?
Thank you. So I don't know if I can do this as a committee member. First, I would like to thank everybody that came from Montello today, because that's tough to get up and talk. But I would request that we have an emergency meeting, because I feel like as committee members, we have only heard or seen a very small, very, very small amount of what's going on in the district. So I feel a little bit out of the loop here. I feel like I'm in a unique position that I have quite a few friends, acquaintances that do work in Lewiston Public Schools. And so I am not only hearing from them, but I am hearing from admin, I am hearing from directors. And I was actually going to bring it up as a future agenda item today, but I feel like some of my future agenda items don't actually make it onto the agenda. So I am requesting an emergency meeting because I think this is something that needs to be talked about. So I don't know if I can do that, or if there's any other members on the committee that would also second an emergency meeting. But I think that this needs some very serious attention.
There's specific policy around emergency meetings that I don't recall off the top of my head, but we can look into that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Member Charpentier.
To Megan's point, I'm just gonna back everything she said, and I think we do need a meeting, and a big discussion district-wide needs to happen over this topic.
Sorry, thank you. Member Gallant.
I also agree. What we heard tonight was very disturbing. And I just don't have any words. I mean, it's the sooner that this can be addressed and what are steps taken to take care of this. We need to address that as soon as possible.
Thank you. Agenda item number 12 is report from our city council rep.
I don't have a whole lot to report. The city council meets tomorrow, and a couple things that might be of interest. We have a workshop at 6:30 on an update on the automated waste collection program that the city's switching over to in the next couple of years. We've also got an application for a New Beginnings has an application in for a new youth homeless shelter that we'll be considering tomorrow evening. We also have several grants that we're looking at accepting, and that's about all I have to report right now.
Thank you. Agenda item number 13, updates from any subcommittees. Member Eames.
Thank you. The subcommittee for policy met today, and we made a decision to ask you all for your feedback for what questions should be on our self-evaluation rubric. We are due for a board self-evaluation, and we're overdue for that. And we have several examples of rubrics, but they all seem very clunky and long. So we're trying to figure out which questions really matter to you, because you're the ones who are going to be answering it. So expect between now and next meeting, so between now and December 2nd, expect a query from, I think it is going to be coming from Karen, that asks you to weigh in on which questions you really want to answer. And then we'll put it together, and by the January meeting, by January, we'll have done it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Member Hurd.
Thank you. So facilities met last week. And coincidental enough, we talked about Montello, and yay, you're getting some new doors. Just what you wanted. No. Sorry, too soon. But yeah, so we did talk about Montello is in need of most of their doors in their building need to be replaced. So we just talked about those were going to go out to bid. Bill and Josh have selected a few companies that they will send bids out to, and they are going to be listed as needed. So what's needed priority wise. And hopefully we'll get some stuff back. That one of the big questions I had was, is this LCIP money? And yes, it is, but LCIP was requested, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 years ago? It was approved?
No, this was.
Just recently? Okay. So again, with the cost of everything going up, we're hoping that it will cover everything that we need to cover, but there's always no guarantee there. We also, on the topic of doors, I don't know why we stuck with doors for facilities, but we did talk about at the high school, some things that are happening over there with keeping doors closed, making sure doors aren't getting opened, those types of things. So what we're doing over there to work on student safety. And we did talk very briefly about Connors and how over there, I probably won't say it as well as Bill said it in the meeting, but sometimes we think things are like a facilities problem, like a door won't stay closed, so it's a facilities problem, or a door's doing this, it's a facilities problem, but it's actually a people problem. So if you see a door open, you close it, whether it's your responsibility or not, or you see something that's not working, you report it, or you just take care of it. And he gave an example that Connors is doing a really good job over there about everybody's taking responsibility. So as a district, if we can all just take responsibility and think that it's our responsibility at all times, that could change a few things. So I think that's about it.
Any other subcommittees with an update? Nope. Okay. Agenda, so she found the policy around emergency meetings. An emergency meeting is any meeting that's called with less than 4 days notice. That's what determines that it's an emergency meeting, and it can be called by the chair and the superintendent. So as soon as the superintendent comes back, we'll have a conversation about that and figure out what we need to do to get that addressed. Agenda item number 14 is school committee community announcements. Member Eames.
Hi, yeah, this is about the Lewiston Public Library doing a big fundraiser for their children's room. And it turns out that on the 14th of December, there's going to be a big party for kids in Callahan Hall starting at 11. So it's December 14th, that's a Saturday at 11 a.m. It's in Callahan Hall, and it's Princess and Superhero Friends. So they're going to be costumed superheroes and princesses there, and many events that'll be fun for the kids. And it is a fundraiser for the capital campaign. But I wanted to make sure that people knew about both things, the capital campaign and the event. Thank you.
Do the kids dress up as superheroes and princesses
They will
too,
be
or-
getting capes and masks and
Oh, good.
tiaras and things, and photos will be taken of them with the superheroes who are coming in. And yes, maybe you.
Registration required.
Oh, thank you. Registration is required. Yes. So I don't want to give you the HTTPS thing over this in this fashion, but go to the library website and there will be information there. But it's Give Butter, I guess, is the name of the website.
Thank you.
All right.
Any other community announcements? Counselor Harriman.
Thank you. Bill just reminded me of an agenda item on the council agenda tomorrow evening that's relevant here. So there's it's called a bond, but it's technically it's really a grant, but it's sort of structured as a bond that's for the CTE programs at LRTC. It's close to $1 million. And that's on our agenda as agenda item number 10.
Thank you. Member Hurd.
Thank you. So I'll mention this again, but PAL is doing a holiday festival on Saturday, December 14th.
Oh, same day.
Yeah, at the Colisee. They're doing food, ice skating. They're doing a Christmas movie, music, hot cocoa, all kinds of stuff. And it's free admission. So I think we have a meeting before the 14th, but yes.
Thank you. Anything else? Nope. Agenda item number 15, future agenda items. Member Hurd?
Thank you. So I'm gonna ask again, for a nutrition presentation. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on for one quick second. But I think a lot of the food that we're feeding our students that contains a lot of artificial dyes and preservatives could be contributing to some of the behaviors that we're seeing in our schools every day. And I understand that we have a federally funded food program, so we are limited and restricted on some of the things that we do. But I think we are in an emergency situation here, so I would just ask for another update on nutrition. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No. Agenda item number 16, is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by member Hurd. Is there a second? Seconded by member Gallant. All in favor? School committee is adjourned at